Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Colleen and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite books that I read in 2018. I'm not doing a least favorite reads of 2018 because I find them a little bit mean. But these are the books that I think about when I think about what I read in 2018 and the things that I loved the most. Not all of these are 5 stars, so I'm not going to be talking about their ratings. But I did really enjoy them all. For some formatting of the video, I'm going to start off by talking about the series because I've already talked about them in the series that I finished this year video. And then I'm going to be talking about just the standalones and some of the graphic novels. But let's just get right into it. So here we are back again with this view of the lovely blue wall. The first series that I want to talk about is the Kestrel series by Lloyd Alexander. This is one of my favorite series. It is a trilogy. It has Westmark, the Kestrel, and the Beggar Queen, and it's just a lot of fun to read. Next, I have the original trilogy for the Seven Waters series by Juliette Marillier, which is comprised of Daughter of the Forest, Son of Shadows, and Child of the Prophecy. I just found that these were all super well written and super intriguing with really great character development, and I really love the characters the best. And this first part of the series followed a different generation of women in each book as well, which I really enjoyed. Then I couldn't make this video without talking about the Noctis Magia trilogy, which I read 2 books of this year. Season of Spells and Lady of Magic. And whenever I think about 2018, I will always think about these books. They were just so fantastic. Then I'd be remiss if I also didn't talk about the Thessaly trilogy by Jo Walton, which is The Just City, The Philosopher's Kings, and Necessity. I had read Philosopher Kings before, but I read The Just City and Necessity for the first time this year, and I really loved both of these books. So, I love that trilogy so much. And the final series I have to talk about is the Seraphina duology. I absolutely love this book. It's Seraphina and Shadowscale. They're both dragons, and they do dragons, or Rachel Hartman does dragons in a way that I hadn't seen done before. So they're really unique, and I really love them. I could not include the one that took me a month to read, and that is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. It is just a tome. I really enjoyed it. It was like slow-paced but fast-paced. It wasn't a book that really screamed for me to pick it up, but when I was done, I had really enjoyed it. I think it would have been better if it was a little bit shorter, but absolutely adored reading it. Then, one that I didn't think that would make this list, but surprisingly has, is The Lost Books of the Odyssey by Zachary Mason. They're all like little short stories about how things could have turned out in the Odyssey, and I really enjoyed that. I hear that he has another book out now, so I definitely will pick that up, but yeah, it's just really nice, and I love the cover because it's so shiny. So much hollow. Then one of the most hard-hitting books that I read this year was Forgiveness by Mark Sakamoto. And this is a memoir, I believe, and it's just really beautiful. It's about Mark Sakamoto's family. Half of his family is from the Magdalen Islands, which is on the East Coast. So really, resonated with that. And his grandfather went to fight in Japan during the Second World War, and the other half of his family is Japanese from the west coast of Canada and was in internment camps, and about all their experiences and how those two sides of his family got brought together and all that sort of stuff. And it was just a really touching read, and I think it's an important read for all Canadians to have read as well, just because it covers a lot of themes around the Japanese internment that we don't really get educated about in school. Next I have a thriller, which I don't normally include, but The Woman in the Window was really great. I sped through it. It was really great debut novel for AJ Finn as well, and it's definitely something that I think about when I think about what I read in 2018. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Next I have a book that I keep on coming back to when I'm thinking about, things I read, and that is Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doherty. I absolutely love this book. It was funny, poignant, and didn't really shy away from the bad parts of this industry, which is one that I want to get involved in with, I think. So, yeah. Then I'm going to save the last book because it's my favorite. I'll get into the graphic novels that really made me, you know, think hard this year, and the first one is going to be Spell on Wheels. I really love this series. It's like Scooby-Doo with witches, and I am so down. I really hope that more comes out and that's not just a standalone, but I really, really love this. And then the second one that I think about when I think about 2018 is Wonder Woman. I read 2 volumes, and this is actually the order that I read them because I read the second one first. The second one's Year 1, and then we have The Lies. And you know, I didn't think I was a superhero person, but then I read Wonder Woman, so shout out to Becky for getting me onto this, and yeah, absolutely loved it. And finally, I think my favorite book of the year would definitely be As You Wish, The Inconceivable Tales from the Making of a Princess Bride by Carrie Ooles. And like, it is just the best memoir I think I've ever read. I like how it has views from all the cast members in it and not just Carrie's, and it talks a lot about like his childhood and things like that, and how important the Princess Bride was to him when he was growing up, and how much fun he had filming it, and how much of like a cultural staple it is now, and by far my favorite book for the last year. So those were all my favorite books from 2018. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's the last in this series about books that I read in 2018. All the videos will be linked down below, and some of them should have shown up in the cards as well. If you've read any of these books and really love them, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't, but one of them you're now inspired to read, let me know. And you know, I do believe that anyone who loves The Princess Bride, either the movie or the book or both, should definitely read this book, and I would highly, highly recommend it. It was my favorite book of 2018, and I hope that I read something as good as this book in 2019. But that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for watching all of this series. I know that some of the videos were a little bit long, but I had a lot of fun filming it, and I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. But now we're back to our regularly scheduled, ambitious programming, and I'll see you in my next video.